Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads, don't skip those ads, don't bump those ads, even though y'all say no ads on the videos, but I see ads on the video. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads, don't skip those ads, don't bump those ads. In this video, we're going to be talking about the different types of drugs.
What is fentanyl? Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid. When prescribed and used correctly, it can be effective for the treatment of acute and chronic pain, but when it is misused, fentanyl can be deadly. Some people knowingly abuse fentanyl, which can come in patches, powder, pill, or liquid form. Others take it unknowingly when using other illegal drugs. Fentanyl is a drug dealer's dream. It is potent, addictive, and cheap. This makes it the perfect additive for illegal drugs. Fentanyl is up to 50 times more potent than heroin and 100 times more potent than morphine. Drug dealers can turn a bigger profit by selling more addictive drugs that are extremely dangerous when laced with fentanyl. That's why fentanyl is creeping into virtually every illegal drug on the market. Morphine, cocaine, heroin, MDMA, Valium, oxycodone, Xanax, and crystal meth. And there's no way of knowing if it's there. So what does a fentanyl overdose look like? Signs of an overdose include disorientation and dizziness, extremely small pupils, cold, clammy hands, shivering, discoloration of the mouth and nails, coughing or gurgling, breathing that is slowed or absent, and the inability to be woken up. And whether you occasionally pop a pill or get high daily, every drug user is at risk. Can I prevent a fentanyl overdose? The answer is yes. The best way to protect yourself is by not doing illegal drugs, but if you choose to use, don't use alone, and have a naloxone kit on hand. In the event of an emergency, always call 911.
Back in the early 2000s, the culprit was oxycodone, an opioid that most would probably recognize under the name of OxyContin. But in 2013 or so, it was fentanyl that overtook both OxyContin and heroin on the center stage in the opioid epidemic. As for who's to blame, well, it's a combination of things. You have pharmaceutical greed and malpractice, you have healthcare providers that are over and misprescribing their patients, and then you have a flood of illicitly produced fentanyl coming from China, Mexico, and India. All of those factors were working together to create the current fentanyl crisis. These days, fentanyl is being disguised as legitimate medications and then being smuggled into the United States and many other countries. Some may think they're getting Xanax or Adderall, but instead are getting a high dose of fentanyl, considering fentanyl is around 50 times more powerful than heroin and 100 times more powerful than morphine, and oftentimes only 2 milligrams of fentanyl is enough to deliver a fatal dose. Dependence and accidental overdoses are skyrocketing. In today's video, we're going to discuss the legitimate uses for fentanyl and what happens to the body when it's consumed. We'll see why withdrawals are so brutally difficult to overcome and why overdosing is such an easy thing to do. It's going to be an important one. Let's do this. Before we start today's video, if you or someone you know is struggling with opioid dependency or opioid use disorder and you're looking for help, we've added some resources to the description of this video that we strongly encourage you to check out. Let's first discuss the difference between an opiate and an opioid, because there is an actual difference between the two. Opiates are natural compounds that come from poppy sap and poppy plant fibers. So this would include morphine and codeine, for example. While opioids, that's more of an umbrella term, and it's encompassing any compound that is going to bind to and have an action on opioid receptors in the body. So that would include like heroin, and then fully synthetic, which would be fentanyl, for example. Now you may be wondering why the body has opioid receptors in the first place. Well, it comes down to the fact that your body makes its own opioids to bind to those receptors. They're called endogenous opioids, and I guarantee you've heard of one of them, endorphins. Endorphin stands for endogenous morphine, but it's only one example of these opioids. You also have what are called enkephalins, dynorphins, endomorphins, nociceptin, or also called orphanin. Now, they'll bind to those receptors, and they have a whole wide variety of effects that we're going to discuss in a moment. Just understand that exogenous opioids, or coming from an external source, so this is going to be like heroin, morphine, or fentanyl, will bind to those receptors, right? So they're taking advantage of something that's already there. And
Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Welcome back to the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads, don't skip those ads, don't bump those ads. And let me say this in the beginning of my video. People always saying, Nika, there's no ads on your video. How there's not no ads? I've been watching them myself and I see that there are ads in the video. Maybe one or two, probably not in the smaller clips like the shorts, but I don't know. But again, welcome back to the channel. I'm getting ready to talk in this video about certain things that I need to discuss because I never know, what I know right now today about these situations with drugs. I don't understand that. But anyways, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Watch those ads. Don't skip those ads. Don't bump those ads. Let's get into this video. All right, y'all. So today is the official day that I'm just trying to relax. You know what I'm saying? I have too much stress on my body and not dwelling too much negative from the internet. I basically jumped on here because I ain't never heard of any drugs named Fentanyl before. Never ever in my life of 38 years of my life. I'm 38 years old. It feel like I'm 39, so I was about to say 39. But I never heard of the drug Fentanyl. I couldn't even pronounce the word when it was discussed with me. I was like, what is Fentanyl? So basically, you know how my daughter is and how, she's protecting her mom and her siblings. She looks it up. So when she looks it up, then I decided to look it up to see what it was. Now I have heard of cocaine, heroin, and weed and crack. I never heard of fentanyl. So when I look up fentanyl to see what it was, I think it said kill instant, don't it? Like you can get exposed to it. Like it's like you can be exposed to it. And I have been looking at different videos on YouTube and I have seen, different people passing out for it, or some people just inject it. I never ever experienced being around someone who does fentanyl or have been around somebody who does heroin. And I've been around different people growing up that has done like maybe cocaine or weed or something like that growing up when I was young, living at my grandma's house and going from trap house to trap house or whatever like that, and seeing people doing stuff like that. But I never seen nobody shoot up or do any type of drugs that I'm not knowing what it is besides weed and cocaine. But fentanyl, I never heard of that before. I never ever experienced nobody around me doing fentanyl. I mean, if somebody is doing it, it's not like they're gonna tell you what they're doing. But I'm not the type of person to do drugs. And everybody be asking me, how do you stay sane? Like, you don't smoke, you don't drink. And people do ask me that, and guys too, that I done came across that wanted to go out with me or something like that. They be like, do you drink or smoke? That's the first thing they ask sometimes. I'm like, nah, I don't drink, I don't smoke. I have a natural high. I'm always laughing. I guess people feel like it's the need for them to think that I do drugs. No, I don't. I have a natural high. I don't even drink. I drink on occasion, like birthdays or holidays, and I really don't drink then, because if I was the type of person that was doing any kind of drugs, my children would know that I do drugs. And of course, my oldest daughter's always around me. She would know if I do drugs or not. But the fact that I'm trying to get through is that the world don't see what you're doing inside or out, so they try to be very judgmental on knowing what you're doing and how you're doing, but try to go out there and just put your name out there, or try to make it seem like you on drugs, or you just crazy, or just any kind of thing to bring you down. But like I said, I never knew what fentanyl was. I never heard of fentanyl before until I actually got on the internet and look it up myself after my daughter told me you can be exposed to it, you can pass out, you can die instant. Like, it's amazing how that kind of drug can make you pass out. But they saying that some of that fentanyl can be in some of the antibiotic pills and stuff like that too as well. But I never knew that. Like antibiotic and Percocet is pills that the doctor used to give us after having babies. Now I guess since the people that had babies took those pills and sell them or do whatever they want to do with those pills, and people made it bad for other mothers that really need that pain medicine after having a baby. So after my second child, I think, after my third child, no, my second child, because I just had Syasia. So after my second child, they said they no longer write prescriptions for Percocet because of the law has changed for them doing that. And I guess it's because of the reasons most mothers that are drug addicts probably got addicted, or some that are not drug addicts got addicted to the morphine and the Percocet. So they don't really give you any kind of high drugs in the hospital as well. When you in there, they'll probably give it to you, but when you get ready to leave, they don't give you this prescription no more for Percocet after having a baby. 800 Motrin is not addicted to me, because, you know, after I have my baby, you know, the certain pain level that I have, I will take an 800 Motrin just for my back or something like that. It only caused me to be drowsy and sleepy, and that's it. And most of the time I don't even take the Motrin, because the fact that it ain't on the Motrin doesn't do nothing for my body anymore. I gave birth to 10 beautiful children, so after having birth so many times, I couldn't get out my mouth. After giving birth so many times, excuse me, it's like a natural thing. Like, my body is adapted to it, is used to it. I don't have to worry about, you know, popping a pill when you know, when my back do hurt. I try to let it die down. But yeah, it's a such thing as fentanyl. I never know. So now that I know what fentanyl is and what it does to the body and how it can affect the body, I was like, people just crazy if they think that necessarily the reason that I would be on any kind of drugs such as that, or any other drugs like heroin or on crack, they are crazy, because I would never destroy my life with drugs. That's one thing that Nika would never do. Like I always tell people, I have a natural high. It's not like I'm sitting up here just getting high every day when my kids are not around, or just getting drunk. I'm not a drunkhead. I'm not a crackhead. I'm not none of that. I'm just a natural breed. I just love having fun. I'm calm, cool, and collected. A lot of people don't know who I am inside or out. They just only know what I post. You know what I'm saying? It's like my shirt say fearless. I'm not afraid to open about anything I go through. If I was a drug addict and had a drug addiction, I probably would have been out there all over TikTok and everywhere else saying, you know, I got a drug addiction, whatever. You know, but I don't have a drug addiction. I'm not the type of person to do drugs. I'm not the type of person to be around people who do drugs. Like, if that's what people want to do with their life, that's what they want to do. God created everybody to be different. He didn't create everybody to be the same. And you got a lot of mothers out there now that does have kids that are addicted on drugs. Does not mean that they ain't on there a bad parent. If they are on drugs, you can't bring a person down because of things that they want to do in their life. You didn't create that person. God created that person, that mother and that father did. So whatever that person does when they get grown, that's their decision on what they want to do. Just like me with my life. I like showing my life to the world. I like talking to the world about what I like doing in my life with me and my children. Like, not one time in y'all life ever see me put a blunt up to my mouth on Instagram, because that's where they go smoke at on Instagram. You can't do it on TikTok because you're going to automatically get banned. But you never see me put a blunt in my mouth on Instagram or none of that shit. You never see me put a drink in my mouth unless it's just a wine cooler or something like that. And I don't see where it's a crime if you do drink a wine cooler around your kids. It's not like you getting bucked up and about to kill somebody or something like that. But just like I always say, I never understand where people's minds be at and what they be thinking about during the time that they go out there and make those allegations against someone, or just plain evil on things that they do and say. But me personally, honest, my grandma always told me, a closed mouth will never get fed. That's why I'm out here fighting hard to do this YouTube channel and try to get this money up for me and these children to move, you know, and getting a bigger house and a nice car, because that's what I'm aiming for. And she also told me, do unto others as you want others to do unto you. And I feel like that's a true saying, but a lot of times people don't believe in that. They don't believe in doing unto others as you want others to do unto you. They don't believe in karma can come around 10 times faster than you think. You think by you doing things to a person that is not going to come back on you, that is not going to backfire. It might not backfire right then and there. It might not backfire in a couple years, but it will get to you when it's time for that karma to hit. So again, y'all, one thing about Nika is I don't do drugs, okay? I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't do heroin, I don't do meth, I don't do cocaine, I don't do fentanyl, and I definitely don't know what fentanyl was until I researched it and looked it up. And again, for the ones that only respect me and mine truly, I love you guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads, don't skip those ads, don't bump those ads. And let me tell y'all one more thing before I get off. Only God can judge me, not the crazy world out here that's going against me and trying to not see me have or see me be successful in where I'm trying to go at. You know what I'm saying? And one more thing I want to say is, a hater gonna always be a hater. No matter what you trying to do and how you trying to do it, hold your head up high and talk to that man up above, because he's the only person that's listening to what you got going on inside of your mind. And he the only one that can understand you. Again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, watch those ads, don't skip those ads, don't bump those ads. Hope y'all continue to have a blessed day. Peace to the Middle East.